you go.
Yeah, there we
Hey,
go.
man.
I'm new to the Zoom.
Is this your first time?
Yeah, I don't Zoom,
Or
Fortunately, we haven't really needed to,
or first podcast?
Yes, first podcast.
Well, welcome to the world of podcasting. This is SwahnRacing.com podcast with Scott Diamond of Moto-D Racing, and it's number 39, I think, so far. So I'm just trying to talk to all kinds of people in the industry, vendors, track day riders, racers, people interested in sport bikes and motorsports and all things. I have my friend coming on in a couple of weeks talking about medicine. He's a doctor, just talk about stuff, have conversation.
Wonderful. Nice to learn what other people do and how we could all work together and share things.
For sure. And you've been an inspiration to me. I'm kind of, I think, going along your footsteps a little bit with starting a business and selling sport bike parts and that kind of thing. So I just want to hear your background and how you got into this and your track day riding and all that stuff, because I don't know a ton about it. I know you do it, but I don't know all the details.
Sure. We started Moto-D because, as a fellow rider, we wanted to give other fellow riders an amazing experience, and we wanted to continue to have fun with them. My background is in banking. I spent many years on Wall Street, wearing a suit and tie. Now I enjoy wearing a different kind of suit.
Yeah, a race suit, leather suit.
Not tie anymore, which is great. So, for us, it's a labor of love. It's a true enjoyment. As our business continues to grow, for which we are very thankful, my personal riding, is declining. But being a part of the customer's fun or success, their progress means even more than, when I reach some milestone in my own personal riding today,
Yeah, it's really important, and when you can finally help other people, it feels really good. A lot of people, if you can give back to people or provide them something of real value, it's a real help to them.
Yeah, I think that's definitely also the other thing that separates us from others is that, we're personable, we're friendly, we'll share with you our real experiences. We are not just selling things in a box. We are, we're providing, a product, something that we trust, something that we know, something that we like, that you are going to enjoy using. And it's not just a part in a box. It's just more of, hey, Scott, Julian, Adam, our team here, they're setting me up with something. I'm going to see them at the racetrack. Riding your bike is one of the most fun things that I do in my life, but riding, my sport bike, my motorcycle with my friends, that is the end all be all. That's what it's all about. That's what's a lot of fun. Then I'll see that customer, they become the friend. We're at the track and now we're riding together. We're on the straightaway having fun with each other. You got that complete circle. That's, to me, what I love. That's why I get up every morning to do what I do. And I think that just gives us personality. You can't get that from some of the big box, stores and online retailers. We're constantly, calling, others, and, we just called about another part from somebody, and, the person picks up the phone and you can tell, I don't even think they were in this country. And we know that they don't even ride. And we're like, oh, we're not going to get good help here. This stinks, but we just continue to do what we do. And we're just so fortunate, that customers appreciate that level of service. And again, just thank you to the community out there.
There's not many companies that are going to get on the track and actually ride with you, right?
No. It's one of our taglines. We say, a lot of people sell tire warmers, but this one actually rides with you,
Yeah. Yeah, and so you sell an array of products, and I do as well now, and thanks to you and some of those things, a lot of them from Italy, right? Is that Bonamici and DNA from Greece? And so how did you get in contact with all these different manufacturers?
I've got an eye for quality. And so, I go around the world and I curate, parts from, various manufacturers. We build relationships with them. We visit their factories. We see their process. And then we ultimately import those things as the North American distributor and then we'll sell them to customers and to our commercial dealers, which then ultimately gets to the consumer. So yeah, I mean, we're really proud of our relationship with Bonamici out of Italy. They're a wonderful company. They make race grade parts that are really well known throughout, the tracks in Europe. And, our business with them is growing and people really like their stuff. Spark exhausts, also from Italy. They've been making exhausts for over 40 years. We are proud to work with DNA. They're race filters they're out of Greece. We're working with Mupo suspension from Italy. We're working with Starlane, their GPS lap timers and data acquisition from Italy. Of course, Easy Grip out of the UK. They make incredible tank grip pads that allow the riders to connect with the bikes. And our awesome carbon technology tire warmers using a made in the USA thermostat, which heat hotter and faster and have an awesome warranty.
That's awesome. So I guess, how did you make the decision, instead of going after products that are already large in the US, to go after products that are lesser known, but still great, and try to bring them into a new market?
Yeah, so it's a big world out there, right? And so we said to ourselves, if we just create a website or a store and we kind of do the same thing as everybody else, what is our value? Not really too much. And then we'll compete with some of the bigger giants out there, not to name them, that spend tons and tons of money on Google, and then it's really hard to kind of get known for anything. Being an actual rider, being a track rider, being a race rider, I've got racecraft, if you will. So, I can go further down and get deeper into some of the specialty components. And so it's a unique offering that we have. You don't find the things that we distribute, mass marketed and on all over the place. They're special, they're unique, right. They're high end, they're real trick stuff. And that's really what we're offering. And we're offering that stuff at, with the tech support to back it up. It's in stock here, so we ship fast to our dealers. And again, it's another level. It's something, a higher experience,
Yeah, and I've seen you even branch out and do your own personal branding on your products, like the tire warmers, and you had a little bolts and nuts and things before packages of the spring clips or selling.
Yeah, our Moto-D line is well known for our carbon technology tire warmers, our stands that are amazing, and we're looking forward to making some big announcements on those again shortly, and our super cool, literally our super cool undersuits.
Yeah, and the sport bike transport stands.
Yep.
Trailer stands.
Another great product. I mean, who wants to use a strap,
yeah,
tie down or chock or worry about it as you're driving down the road? I mean, I know on all the trips I go to, I'm driving like this. We're in the back. Oh no, we got to pull over. That stinks. I hate that. Yeah. So that strapless transport stand it's a godsend. The bike's 100% secure, and I could just focus, on getting to the destination.
Yeah, it takes a lot of headache out and worry and anxiety. Like, oh, is the bike going to fall over my trailer? And actually, in the trip, I didn't tie it down, but some other bikes fell over in a trailer. We had like 19 or 20 bikes go down to the Deals Gap one year, and I think 2 bikes fell over on each other. It wasn't barely any damage, but it happens.
It happens, and it happens to everybody in the beginning. I mean, I know it happened to me in the beginning, literally the 3-hour trip. I'm 2 minutes from the racetrack, and that's when it decided to fall over.
Yeah.
Fortunately, it fell into the trailer. It was an open trailer and fell in versus it fell off onto the road. But still, it was a nerve-wracking thing, and there was some minor damage, and then hoisting it back up. But I swore after that, we got to secure it properly. You put too much money, you put too much effort, you put too much care and love into your bike. I mean, other than my wife, it's the only other woman in my life, right? So I don't want her to fall down.
But I know a guy, Mark Miracle. He's the chaplain at a lot of the races. He comes a lot of track days. You probably know him. He's very popular in the sport bike scene. But he was somehow his bike fell off a trailer. I don't know if it was tie down related, but it was on the highway, and maybe the trailer broke or something. But it fell and smashed at 70 miles an hour while he wasn't on it. Thankfully. But we all pitched together and helped him fix up his bike, I think. So
nice. I really like the community when we do positive things together.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
You know, the social media today is such a powerful force,
Yeah,
and it's amazing how it can bring out the best in us, and it can also bring out sometimes the worst in us.
for sure.
And you know, we're already, as a sport bikers, we're already kind of the outcasts. You know, when people view us as, oh, you know, they're crazies, but really we're all working people. We all are family. You know, and we're really the nicest people in the world. You know, where else can you go and go up to a complete stranger and say, hey, you know, that $200 tool in your trailer, I don't know you, you don't know me. Can I borrow it? Yeah, sure, buddy. Just bring it back. I mean, anywhere else you get punched in the face if you tried something like that. So I love when the community comes together, does positive things like that, really builds us up. And it's one of the reasons why, you know, dedicated my entire life, you know, got out of banking and dedicated my life and, you know, and everything that I do to stay in it, you know?
Yeah. So for you getting into the business side of it, was it so you could just do track days and racing more?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to get a real job anymore. I mean, I worked too hard in the bank, so I mean, this is a lot less work. Let me tell you, I ride around all day long. Yeah,
It's like playtime,
one of
right?
the biggest misconceptions, you know, about it, you know, that it's easy. You ride around all day, and it's going to be completely further from the truth, you know. But it's, again, very rewarding,
Oh yeah.
and you know, it's a passion. It's a passion. And I just love sharing my passion. I like bringing new people into it. I mean, when you find a street rider and you can bring them to a racetrack and you can help them get on the track and really improve the way that they ride in a safer way, I mean, you know, how great is that? Someone did that for me, as I'm sure someone did that for you, right?
You know, actually, nobody really helped me get on the track. I knew nobody in my circle at all, and I was just the kid who I got arrested when I was very young and just got a 600. My first year on a 600 sport bike, I had a 250 years for 3 or 4 years before that, so I wasn't a brand new rider, but I was just being a hot shot on the freeway.
Yep.
And that didn't work out. So I took it to the track after that because I was like, I'm not going to sell my bike. I love riding, but I can't do that again because
Right.
I'm going to do it. So
You realized.
and very quickly I was passing racers in advance in a couple of days. I
Yep.
accelerated to advance, and then the following season I won 3 championships. So I was like, wow, I'm pretty good at this. Let me keep going with it. I dropped out of college, got my pro license, and then I ran out of money. I did expert for many years. It was so expensive. Now I'm trying to build my business to help fund it so I can go back and do that at a professional level because I know that I can. It's just I ran out of money.
Sure.
And even,
That's what my wife said to me,
yeah,
you know, back in the early days. She said, you know, you're at the track every weekend, and every weekend or every day I see another box showing up, you know, with a shiny part in it. She said, you're spending all this money, you know, tick, 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 you know, where's my ring? What's going on here? This is when we were dating, of course. So I said, oh, you know, I've got a great idea. And so that's, you know, how, you know, that's one of the reasons why Moto-D started, was to, you know, subsidize, my addiction.
yeah. You know, if I did heroin, it'd probably be cheaper.
Absolutely.
But it's so much fun, and you know, it's a positive, like growth environment. Like you said, it's so friendly with all the people around. I played soccer and hockey and flag football and baseball and all the sports there are, tennis and whatever, swimming. Yep. And there's no other camaraderie like the sport bike, and maybe that's just where I fit in better. I don't know, yeah. But that's where I seem to gravitate towards.
Sure. You know, in our daily lives, you know, we all kind of live in our little circles, right? So, you know, when we're at the track or, you know, we're at a race, you know, here I am, and I've got a doctor over here, I've got a plumber over here, I've got a nurse over here, and I've got a teacher over there, and, you know, wonderful, you know, we all come together, we do different things, but we all have this common love, and, you know, we're all just great friends as a result, you know, and all the daily nonsense that's out there in the world, that doesn't really matter, you know?
Yeah, it's great. You
clarifies
can just get away from that for a little while and escape.
Yeah. And listen, isn't that what bikes are all about? It's really an
Freedom.
escape. You know, I mean, when you put your helmet on, you know, you're in your world for a second, and you know, I don't think about my daily stress. You know, I think about riding. I think about what's in front of me, and it's a great way to relax. You know, and you have to have that in life. I think. You know, you need that. You need that mental, you know, release or relaxation, if you will. So for me, that's how I get it. Yeah, I couldn't think of doing anything more. You will certainly never find me on the golf course.
That's not your thing?
That's not happening, you know.
You know, I don't have a sport bike anymore or a street bike. I've gravitated towards the mountain bikes for the money thing right now to save money, but I used to all the time just go out for a ride to nowhere. I'm like, hey, I'm going out. I don't know where I'm going, but I'll be back in 2 hours, you know, and just go cruise and try not to speed too much, right? That's always my problem, is I'm always speeding a little too much, you know. So
the bikes are so capable. I mean, you know, they don't want to go slow, you know.
It's so hard.
But, you know, it's funny. That's why I love, you know, this whole 300, you know, 400 class. You know, I think it's incredible what that's done for, you know, for the industry, for the sport, because I mean, they're affordable. You can get into it, and then it's actually safer. You can learn how to ride. You know, it's frustrating when I see a rider show up on a big leader bike, you know, on a track speed, and, you know, and in 3 seconds you see, you know, they're all crossed up and stuff. And, you know, yeah, the bike is amazing. You've got every piece of technology on there. And here I come in, you know, some clopped out 2004 CBR and right around you, you know, and sometimes we say, you know, I know that's a beautiful bike, but you might have been better off on something less expensive, easier to ride. You know, I know it doesn't look as cool, but you'll actually have a better time. So I love the Yamaha R3, the Ninja 300s and 400s, the RC 390s, because I think it's just been great what it's done for the sport to get new people in. It's more affordable, accessible. And I mean, I don't have to tell you, you know, you could probably pick up a Ninja 300 track bike for only a couple of bucks. You can get rid of that mountain bike finally, you know?
Yeah, it'd be a couple grand. You know, my mountain bike's worth as much as Ninja 300, really.
Probably.
I've actually been doing I switched over to the mountain bike championship stuff, and man, those guys are super competitive. I need a better engine on my mountain bike. That's the problem.
Yeah. Yeah, you have was it like a carbon frame or something?
No, I just got one step down from carbon. Carbon starts at like $3,600. So I didn't want to spend more than I had to, but it's a great bike now that I have. You know, I started on a 250 and it was so great. I wish that I had rode a 250 on the racetrack. I had already moved up to a 600, but now thinking it would be nice to get a smaller bike because you go through tires, you know, a couple of tires every few months instead of 3 tires a weekend. It's way different in your budget.
I do tremendously enjoy the fact that, you know, my small bike, the tires will last quite some time. And there's nothing better than passing a Panigale V4 on my R3.
That's awesome.
The guy says, "How did you do that?" You know, I go, you know, dude, I don't know what you're doing out there. Get off the bike and let's focus on the real technique and don't rely so much on the motor, you know, especially in turns.
You know, one of my first track days, I thought I was some sort of god because I passed a guy in a Hayabusa.
Hayabusa on the track, right? He said.
Yeah, he was on the track for real, and I had never seen one ever again. But that was the only Hayabusa I've ever seen on a track day.
Yeah, I get a kick when I see a Busa on the track or an H2 on the track, or, you know, some of the Harleys on the track. You know, I know it's not the typical track bike, but it doesn't matter. It's a rider out there. And a lot of times those riders will then come back in another weekend with that CBR, that Gixxer, and come hang out with us. They just got that little taste.
Sure.
And as you know, and I know, once you get that taste, it's kind of hard not to come back, you know?
I think they should allow all the bikes out, not maybe in all the, you know, groups, but have their own groups. But like, yeah, have scooters and mopeds and the pit bikes, the O'Valleys, the 190.
There's a bunch of organizations that actually do that, like Tony's Track Days. They have a non-sport bike, you know, day. And,
yeah,
that's
baggers.
thing I think they do. Yeah, I know that's a growing thing, the baggers and stuff, you know. It's a little weird for me to see that, but you know, listen, two wheels, let's get out there and have fun. Doesn't matter, you know.
It's not about the lap time. It's just about being out there and staying on the racetrack and learning.
Yeah. Yeah, well said. Doing it in a safe environment, in a fun environment, avoiding the cops, you know, the potholes and stuff like that. Listen, even the baggers today, every bike, the technology is pretty incredible on them, right? And the
Yeah.
tires are pretty incredible, right? So, I mean, look, you know, Valentino Rossi could pass me in a pair of Shinkos. You know what I mean? He's just that incredible of a rider. So if you're really a good rider, it doesn't matter what bike you're on. You've got the ability, you've got the skill. So, you know, bring it out there. Let's go, you know?
And so what's in your garage? What are you riding these days?
We've got our Yamaha R3, which we love. We have a Ducati Street Fighter 848, which I also enjoy. Don't get to ride it as much as I'd like. It does kind of sit in the garage. And we have a Daytona 675R.
Okay, yeah, the Triumph.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, I've had the Triumph before. It's got a lot of power in the low end. You got to definitely short shift that. We can't rev it up like the inline fours as much.
Yes. I like the fact that it's narrow. It's very nimble. It's light. I love the sound of the triple on it. And again, in the right hands, it can move just as fast as just about any other 600 out there, you know.
Oh, for sure. And so how long have you been doing track days now? 10, 20 years?
I mean, how old do I look here? I mean, come on.
You look about 32.
There you go. I like that, actually. I've been doing track days since 2008.
Okay.
And it was a buddy of mine that, you know, I rode on the street for a couple of years, you know, total squid action. You know, I've got the pictures to prove it, although I won't share them. And, you know, buddy came along and said, oh, my God, I went to a team promotion track day out in Pocono, and you've got to come check this out. And, you know, the rest is history. Shout out to Glenn Goldman and Bill Sink, team promotion guys. You know, they kind of brought me in, and we've just had a wonderful time ever since. You know, it was every weekend after that, you know.
And so how many different tracks or configurations do you think you have ridden so far? Like 30 or 40?
I am blessed to have ridden at about 15 or 16 tracks.
Well, I mean, sometimes they have like a north course or a south course, or they
Yep.
combine them.
Yep. Yeah. Jennings, you can go clockwise. Jennings, you can go counterclockwise. Both are fun.
Yeah.
You know, Jersey's got 2 tracks, Lightning and Thunderbolt. Shout out to all my friends at the Riders Club. New York Safety Track, my home base. You know, love the NYST loyal crew. I had a wonderful time riding out in Buttonwillow. That was an awesome track. Shortly after they repaved it a couple of years ago. I've been fortunate to ride out at Chuckwalla with the CVMA Grana crowd. Awesome time. Yeah, I mean, they're all fun. I mean, it's like pizza, you know, even cold pizza. Good, you know. I'm not a track snob. There are certainly some tracks I like more than others. But listen, I'm just always happy to be there. You know, it's a wonderful thing, you know. And a cold beer after a track day, life is good.
Hell yeah. And so you've been even supporting other racers now in the Moto America paddock and probably elsewhere. I'm pretty sure the Altus Motorsport team.
Yes.
And maybe others.
Yeah, this year, I mean, we're going to continue our relationship with Altus Motorsports. George Nassani, the team owner, is a wonderful guy, and his son is an excellent rider, Jarrett, who's been progressing, and they've got some other riders that are really great, like Kevin Olmedo. And last year, I mean, they did well. They've been progressing, and I'm excited again for this year to work with them. Also, BartCon Racing with Dominic Doyle, and you know, we just like to be a part and contribute, you know. So to me, you don't need to have this impressive resume, you know. It's more of just, how do you carry yourself? Are you looking to be positive and promote and help? You know, unfortunately, like in anything, there are some people that have, you know, some type of look on their face. They're never happy. They don't want to share. and to each their own, you know, but for me, that's definitely not who we are. We're more the merrier. Come
Right.
into our paddock, come hang out, grab some food, come ride with us. You know, we all do this for fun, right? And if you're not having fun and you're not smiling, then I get upset about that. So I always try to help people. So in the Motor America paddock, you know, for us, we always look to just join with good people, to help them achieve the best that they can do, and just be part of their success. And for some people, that's being on the podium all the time. And for others, it's, hey, I just completed my first race and I did well. I mean, incredible, awesome. They're both victories in my book. And we're just, again, you know, just fortunate and thankful that we can be a part of it.
And I think Melissa Paris is a part of that team.
Mel's cool. Yeah, she's a cool girl. Absolutely. An incredible, talented racer. Obviously everyone knows who she's married to. So, I mean, that's a power couple there in the race community. But yeah, so I know she's doing some pretty cool things, and we also chat regularly with her. Yeah, so be on the lookout from her. I'll let her make her own announcements, but yeah, awesome.
Yeah, I've heard she's alluded to maybe riding somewhere. So I don't know any details.
Yeah, I'm sure she's, you know, again, you know, with the talent that she possesses, I mean, she's always in demand, of course, naturally, you know. I would like to see, you know, some more outside sponsorship, you know, going in our sport. You know, we would really benefit because there's a lot of talent out there that unfortunately, you know, is on the sidelines. I mean, we could, between us both, I'm sure we could rattle off 20, 30 names.
Yeah, myself.
And that's
here. You know, I should be out there right now. I just can't.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And so I would love, you know, I don't know how to do it. I don't know who can do it, but it would be great to see, you know, the Xeroxes and the Tides and the IBMs come in and help sponsor like they have in the NBA and like they have in NASCAR and stuff like that. Because, you know, I think what we do, I mean, is extremely exciting. I mean, we put it all out there, you know, 3 inches from the ground at 150 miles an hour. So, I mean, I know it's exciting, you know, I love it. But I would love to see, you know, I look forward to the day when, you know, that outside, you know, interest comes in, you know, and really helps you propel to the next level.
So the question becomes then, what needs to change for that to happen? What are the building blocks or the dominoes that need to fall for that to happen?
I think we need a full Moto-D, you know, Moto America team. I think that's the first thing we need to make that happen.
Yeah.
And we're something that we're working on as well, as, you know, as we continue to grow. But, you know, I think the industry leaders, you know, that are really involved in the race scene, you know, I'd like to see them work with you know, the big, you know, news and media corporations, whether it be Fox and, you know, and really get better coverage, better online coverage as well. You know, I often wish that I could watch the old, you know, Moto America races, not just on YouTube, but the ones from, you know, back in the day when you had Miguel, you know, Duhamel racing and see all those archives and stuff like that. And just be more, you know, opportunistic, you know, and not focus so much on the short term, you know, and, you know, the little things like that, you know, really realize that there's such history there and people appreciate that and people love to see that. So let's put that out there. And again, just, you know, bring in more coverage. You know, we need to get up, you know, into the New York Times with, you know, the race results and just have, you know, better coverage, you know?
Yeah, you know, it's tough. You know, my generation, myself included, I don't really watch TV anymore. I don't have a cable box. You know, I don't turn on the news ever. I watch
the cord.
Yeah, a long time ago. You know, after I moved out of my parents' house, I think I had it in my dorm for a year or two, and that was it. So it's been a decade, and I don't really miss it. So if it's on TV, I don't watch it there anyway. I'm just paying for it on the video pass. But how do most people watch it this generation? They're on YouTube or they're streaming on Netflix or all these different apps. It's like you got to capture their attention maybe through online ads or something like that. How you're going to capture that market, you know?
Yeah. No, I definitely think that's the way to go. I think that they need to lower the cost to get into the races.
Yeah.
You know, I go to the race. I mean, I go in by myself. It's a lot of money. The average person's not going to pay that to get in, and the stands are empty.
Yeah.
Who's ever watches this, please take this idea and run with it, and the credit's all yours, but let us in for $5. We will spend more money on hot dogs and beer and t-shirts. You'll get back way more money. Just let us in for the $5. It's like with a printer today. You go into Staples, you buy your printer. The printers are $100. Then they sell you an expensive cartridge a couple of weeks later that pays for the printer. Just let us in, and that will create a buzz, and that will get people excited. And then that naturally get people to want to try to emulate that as well. They'll take their bikes or they'll buy a sport bike, and then they'll go to the track themselves. So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy in that regard, but just let us in.
Yeah, for sure. And so are they going to allow fans this year at the races, you think?
I think they will. I mean, obviously you saw that they did that a little bit last year, and hopefully now that we've kind of rounded the corner with the vaccine, I believe that they will. I hope everyone is staying safe, wearing their masks, being kind and courteous, and we'll get through it, of course, for sure. And thankfully, I put my helmet on my motorcycle, and I'm kind of, quarantined and away from everybody. But yeah, I think they'll let us in, and I look forward to seeing everybody. That's for sure.
Yeah, I can't wait to get back to normal, whenever that is.
Yeah, few more months.
Yeah, happy.
I know down where you are, you're in Michigan, right? So it's quite cold there, I imagine, right?
Yeah, it's snowing. They said we might get a bunch of snow on Sunday night, so we'll see.
Gotcha. Don't send any our way. Moto-D, we're based in Danbury, Connecticut. We just moved. We were located in Mahopac, New York. 15 minutes away, we moved into our new distribution warehouse. But overall, the winter's been kind of mild. I actually almost thought about taking my bike out today. But the Street Fighter doesn't have a windscreen, and the fingers would get a little too cold.
You got to wear rubber gloves underneath your regular gloves.
Yes. Listen, when I ride, I like to feel the bike, and so even when you have too many layers on, I can't feel the controls.
Yeah.
So, and I don't ride obviously slowly. I'm sure, like when you're in your car driving, like I'm driving, I'm getting off the exit, I'm looking for the apex as I'm going through the exit, in my car.
Yeah.
You can't stop yourself. So, I mean, that's kind of how I ride as well, even on the street. I try to be very safe, of course, when I do ride. But a few more weeks of this, the weather will warm up, and we'll certainly make the most out of it.
Yeah. Happy 2 weeks to slow the curve. It's, a 10-month anniversary.
Mm-hmm. It's a good way to look at it. Listen, every day that we continue to move on, we breathe, we move forward. It's a good thing. For those up in the Northeast area or where it's cold, stay inside, stay with your loved ones. I'm certainly spending a lot of time with my wife and my kids, getting in all my store credit because, come summer, I disappear.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
But I'm fortunate though that, my kids are a little older now. They do come to the racetrack, and so I get to share that with them. And I hope they want to ride with their old man, because they do know how to ride right now, which is pretty cool. My daughter this year was on the straightaway at the New York safety track after hours, and she did a little pop a wheelie. She didn't mean to, but I was telling her, you got to shift. As we were riding two little pit bikes together, she did a pop a wheelie. And I mean, the look on her face and the look on my face, and I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, what's my wife going to do?
Yeah.
And then she came down, it was perfect. And she was so happy. And so it was great. We did a lap together on the track, and that's an amazing thing. Again, to pass that along to your kids.
Oh yeah.
That's a very cool thing,
And I never had that growing up. So now I'm trying to get it all in now.
Your parents didn't ride, or
my dad rode as a kid and hurt himself, and then said no motorcycles. He had a scooter though, and I rode his scooter. It was a Kymco People 250 2008, so it was a big scooter. It went like 87 miles an hour. I found out, and it shook a lot.
You found out.
It was really unstable. It was just the geometry was terrible. But I had a seat on the back, and I'd ride all the girls around as much as I could. when I was in high school, and I started riding probably when I was maybe 13, 14, before I even had my license. He let me ride around the neighborhoods and stuff, not on the major roads. And then, I got my permit at 14 and 9 months as soon as I possibly could. And I was just riding all the time, more than I was driving. And
Mm-hmm.
I was very fortunate that my brother had a car, and I just used his car because he was gone a lot of the time and traveling and different things. So I could use his car, and I was able to just buy a motorcycle for my first car, which was awesome. I bought my first bike before I bought a car, which I'm proud of.
Sure, sure. Growing
So
up as a kid, I lived on a bicycle. You
yeah,
know, when I was when I was about 7 years old, I wanted this bicycle. We saw it in the store. It was this blue, mountain bike, a dirt bike thing with these blue wheels on it, like a mongoose, I think it was. And my dad said to me, if you want that bike, I'll take you and buy that bike, but first you have to learn how to jump into the pool. So I was like, oh my God, I'm never going to get this bike. So, I went to the pool, looking at the pool. I'm scared. I'm 7.
talking like a high dive.
Just like a big pool. It's like, a little diving board, nothing crazy. But as a 7-year-old, you're like, oh my
It's
God.
so big, yeah.
And so like 1 week went by, 2 weeks went by, 3 weeks went by. All my friends are in the cul-de-sac with the bicycles, riding around, the motley crew playing all the games. And I didn't have the bike. 4th week went by, 5th week went by. Now it's like, it's kind of summer. It's getting nice out. And one day I was sitting there and I was like, you know what? And I ran, jumped into the pool, Kaya, let's go. And it was amazing. And then we went right to the bicycle store. And so, I earned the bike as a result. I had to overcome something, that fear, the jump into the pool, something I'd never done before. And so that bike meant everything to me. And I lived on that bike. I mean, I pretty much slept with it. It came into my room. You see the people on Facebook with the motorcycle in their bed. And that's pretty much me with my mongoose, blue dirt bike. But yeah, we took that thing everywhere, into the swamp, in the back. I mean, by the school. I mean, I loved it, And, I never would have ever thought that I would have been a motorcycle rider, from riding a bicycle. But it totally makes sense for me, today. Every time I'm on it, it's just basically a big bicycle, for a big kid.
Yeah, it really does transfer, and it's 2 wheels. It's got a lot of the same push feel when you're sliding in the trails and all that. So I think of it when I'm mountain biking. I'd rather be on a dirt bike because then you have the throttle control. But even with a mountain bike, you can still push the front and the rear and slide in the corners and stay on. And it's nerve wracking. It makes you better.
Gets the heart rate going. Yeah, absolutely. You need that a little bit, right?
Yeah, for sure. If you're not, if everything
for me, it's the freedom, it's the independence. It's just
Yeah.
you're moving, you're doing something, and I love that sensation.
If everything feels in control, you're not going fast enough.
Well said. Well said. Right. You need a little organized chaos in your life.
Yeah, yeah. It just makes you focus on one sole thing, when you're pushing that hard.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things that motorcycle riders are usually pretty good at, and we're used to sometimes high pressure situations. I don't get rattled so easily.
Yeah.
Because you come hot into a turn, miss a shift or something, you got to figure that out, right?
Yeah,
Take it
okay,
easy.
so
You got it under control. And usually when you have that composure,
yeah.
Usually you do come through that corner, no problem, and so in life and in business, I'm usually a pretty cool and calm, character. And, I attribute that to motorcycle riding, to bicycle riding, because it does push you, it does challenge you. It does, my heart rate it gets up, like I'm sure yours does, but to the average, golfer, if you will, it's a few beats for them is a big deal, but for us, a few beats for us, that's just living, bro.
It's normal, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, you just have to live with that. There's a fine line between, you can mentally like process something, but then not react with your body, right? So when there's a situation, you can say, oh, that was scary, but your body didn't like clench up and grab a whole handful of brakes or get off the throttle. And if there's somebody crashing right in front of you, most of the time it doesn't really matter to your line, so you don't have to do anything different, you know. And a lot of people, oh, they stand up or they target fixate, and you just have to be so calm under pressure, like you said. And actually, for a job that I have, they said, "Are you calm under pressure?" And I said, "Well, yes. You know, I race motorcycles at a high level, expert and pro level, and you know, if you screw up, lives are at risk. So yes, I'm good under pressure because you have to be. You have to be able to trust these people. You have to be able to race and ride close, but also safely.
Mhm.
So it's just it's good to be calm in good situations and in tough situations. Like, and I like to meditate. Not I don't do it as much as I used to, but I like to just shut your eyes and breathe for a second. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything elaborate. Just like that's all it is just focusing on your breath. That's all meditation is for me. Sometimes there's a guy talking to you and he guides you through some different things, but you don't have to even have that.
Just need sometimes a second to reset and focus and really see what's going on. I agree.
Yeah, just calm your mind.
Yeah. Being courteous of others on the racetrack is really an important thing, you know, because as you said, you know, someone could get hurt and it's not just you, you know, and you never want to hurt anybody else. I mean, you don't personally want to get hurt either, but the last thing that I would ever want to do is be responsible, you know, or cause an issue for somebody else. So, you know, again, I always try to treat the racetrack or, you know, the street, you know, when you go out with friends, in a kind and courteous way, because you know, I love my friends. I love the people that I ride with. And so, you know, I'm riding in a responsible way, you know, for them too. You know, get me out into a bar in the East Village in New York City when this COVID thing's over. You'll see a different side of me, of course, but
Yeah.
on the racetrack, no, for sure. You know, want to be able to have a good time. I want everyone to be able to come back. I want everyone to compete and do their best. And again, just, you know, be mindful of others, you know.
And
Just
I would
think about
say,
the rider, you know, don't worry about the rider behind you, worry about the rider in front of you, because, you know, you are responsible. And again, when we all are responsible, we can all have a tremendous amount of fun.
and I would say, as far as being kind and courteous, I think that most of the people who are, you would say, discourteous are maybe less experienced and don't know the right thing and aren't trying to do it on purpose. They just don't know, right?
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, listen, that's why we always encourage people to come and, you know, work with a coach, work with an instructor and learn. Don't come to the track or approach anything in life like you know everything. Sometimes it's better off to be a little quieter and listen to what other people have to say and take what works from them and apply it, you know, to what you do and be a better person as a result.
And it was so beneficial. I asked so many questions and I was like, I didn't know anything. So I was just an open book. I didn't have any ego behind it because I didn't know shit. So like when I first went to the track, I think I had wood screws holding my bodywork together. And someone was looking at this like, what the hell is this? It's like, I put it together. What do you want from me? I don't know how to do this, you know?
Wood
And
screws. I have not seen wood screws. Really?
that's what I affix my body work with, and I got
Nice.
laughed at. So I learned that you don't do that because it's easy to drop them and puncture tires and all that kind of thing.
Sure.
But it does work if you're in a pinch and you don't know what you're doing.
Sure. Listen, it's not a proper track bike if it doesn't have a couple zip ties on, a little duct tape, no doubt about it, you know.
For sure, man. I didn't even paint my bike at first because I kept crashing it.
Nah, painting's a waste of money, no question about it, you know. Take the body work, give it a good scratch right here,
Yep.
and then you're good to go. Right.
I'm a
Put
huge
some stickers
advocate
on
for
it and go.
spending your money on track time, coaching, like pro schools, and three things: suspension, tires, and brakes. That's it.
And a back protector.
Well, yeah, you got to have your suit, your gloves, back protector. I use a
I
chest.
see a lot of people at the racetrack, and it upsets me, and they don't wear back protectors, and the organizations need to do a better job with making sure that people wear back protectors. I mean, I see it all over. Oh, no, it's the one that's in the suit. No, that's just a piece of foam. Well, I got to do research on the back protector. Oh, I don't have any money. I go, this is one time where you should be, a proper American and whip out that credit card and buy a back protector, because, the back protector, it's what, the best one in the world, force field, right? They're $200. Can you buy a new back for $200? I don't think so. So I am always encouraging people to be smart. As you said, spend your money on good instruction, spend your money on quality tires, spend your money on the proper gear. Don't take any shortcuts with that stuff. It's just not worth it.
And I would say I always wore a back protector, chest protector, and hip protection with Cossacks every time. Those three undergarments under your suit, because when I was in the hospital one time for a bunch of broken bones because I hit a wall, there was also a guy in the hospital from the same race event who shattered his pelvis because he wasn't wearing shorts. I think it didn't help because he wasn't wearing shorts. He wasn't wearing the shorts protection underneath. It was just a suit. And I think if he would have had that on, it would have been a lot better. Maybe he wouldn't have broke anything.
Mm-hmm.
And,
proper gear is like proper tires. It's all cheap forms of insurance. Hope you never use it. You hope you never need it. But, in the instance where you do need it, you really are thankful that you have it, So, if you've got a dodgy old helmet, okay, maybe they check, maybe they don't check. It doesn't matter on the street, but it doesn't fit you right, and if you ever needed that helmet and it doesn't fit you and it moves, I mean, again, it just doesn't make sense. So, there are a lot of ways that you can protect yourself without spending a lot of money. And of course, if you have the means to do so and you want the carbon fiber thing, great, awesome. You could do that too. But I definitely want people to know out there that wearing the right gear is smart. You don't have to spend a lot of money. Work with someone who's knowledgeable in the industry, and they'll guide you. Don't always listen to what they say on Facebook. Maybe you've heard that before.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people out there that maybe they're motivated in other ways, or they're really not that knowledgeable. So, talk to a lot of people, collect a lot of ideas and information, and then obviously do what makes the most sense for you, and what you can do, and do the best like that.
I always cringe when I see helmets for sale at the flea market that are already 40 years old.
Those are good for on July 4th. You take the helmet, you turn it upside down, you put an M80 in it, and then that's what track day shenanigans is for on July 4th weekend.
Yeah, I mean they're nice on the shelf and they have a nice vintage look, but for race organizations it's 5 years. After 6 years, they say it's trash.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very strict for race organizations. Track days organizations, some check, right? Some don't, maybe. I'm not sure on that. But for the street, nobody checks. I don't think there's any law against old helmets.
We've had a couple of customers walk in, and they're just looking for novelty helmets, just don't want to get a ticket. And, our warehouse is located in the state of Connecticut, so there's no helmet law, and we just shake our head and, hey, to each their own, live the way you want, but, small piece of protection, again, think of, your family, it's really not that big of a deal to wear it. But,
yeah. I think
makes the world a wonderful place.
I think they're cool. I think you should want to wear one. I think it looks cool to have one. It drives me nuts when you
I don't want a rock in my eye when I'm going 100 miles an hour I didn't say that. When I'm moving on the highway, I don't want a rock in my neck, a pebble. But I agree with you, more comfortable.
It drives me nuts seeing the helmet strapped to the back of the bike.
Yes, I've seen that. That's great.
What are you doing?
What drives me nuts? When people take a helmet and they just put it on the seat, and then they get off the bike, and then the wind blows.
Oh, yeah.
Knocks the helmet on the ground. I've seen that so many times, whether it be on the track, and I'm like, no, just put it on the ground, right underneath the wheel. It can't fall. It's and you never have to worry.
Yeah.
Because what a lot of people don't realize, as I'm sure you know, Eric, is that a helmet is a one-time thing. And then if it's fallen off to the ground one time, there's going to be some type of imperfection in it. The shell could be compromised. It may look fine on the outside, but the structural integrity is not the same as a brand new perfect helmet. So yeah, it might look okay, but again, now you're at 85%. Again, we seem to have a common theme between us here about safety. Safety, doing the right thing, and again, being positive in sports. So protect your head. Wear a good quality helmet.
And so you probably had a few fall overs or tip overs in your track riding and street riding career. Do you keep your old crash gear as a memento on the wall?
Absolutely. I mean, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And if we were more mobile in this Zoom thing here, we'd go upstairs and I'd show you all my old body work from my old bikes. Of course, I've saved them. I've got them hanging up from the rafters and stuff, and so it's a nice tribute that I still have some of those pieces for some of those bikes. But yeah, I keep most of the stuff. Every so often, you go up to that old helmet and you grab the helmet. Oh yeah, summer 2008. That was awesome.
Yeah, still got that caked in smell, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
I just tossed out one of my old helmets. I was sick of looking at it. I was like, I just need to buy a new one. I don't want this memory anymore because it was a bad crash for me, and I was like, you know what? It's time to go. I got to move on.
Yeah, good. Yeah, sometimes you got to do it.
Yep. So I ripped the Band-Aid off, and now I can't wait to get a new one. A new Shoei, probably X12 or X14. That's what I got my eye on.
Beautiful helmets.
Yep, for sure. So what's going on in your life? Anything random outside of business or family, politics, anything?
Right now we're just so busy serving our customers and, focusing on our business. I'm just fully dedicated, to it. So nothing exciting to report on, that front. Certainly looking forward to, summer riding season. And just having more fun out there. But we've got a lot of interesting things going on at Moto-D. With new cool products as we continue to advance. The fact that we are a one-stop race and track toy store, if you will. Serving the upper sport bike rider and performance track and street rider. So we're just busy here, and we're just focused on you, the customer. We're just really focused on that, So yeah, for now, that's enough.
Yeah, that's good.
Only so many hours in the day.
Yeah, for sure. There's only so many things you can do. How many plates can you have spinning at once, right? For me, at one point, I thought I wanted to try to sell every single product that you would use at the racetrack, from canopies to chairs to trailers to vehicles. Like, why not try to sell like electronics, like a humidifier, whatever it is, temperature gauges, like anything you can think of that you'd have in your toolbox. Why not try to sell it? Now, then you get into problems like you can't really sell Craftsman or Matco tools super easily online. You get problems with distribution and like getting like easy ups drop ship. That's kind of a hard thing to do. I'm not trying to stock a ton of stuff, but you have a warehouse.
There's complexity in everything, and you have to think about the complete A through Z process, and and there's again so many hours in the day, and for us, being knowledgeable in the product, being specialists, being able to support the product. So while we are growing and while we are adding, we can't do everything that we want to do, because if we just threw it all in there, we wouldn't be able to give the same high level of service and support. And what we do, it's technical. We get constant phone calls. Hey, I have one of your Starlane lap timers. They're amazing. There's a track that they just built and I want to add the map. How do I do that? So, we love the fact that we know that product and we can easily share that with you. And so it's when you just throw everything in there, you kind of water yourself down, and you're just not able to give that person the experience. And then for us, you won't come back. So we want you to be happy. We want you to come back. We want to see you at the track. We want to grow with you as you grow. And so sometimes you have to just take a step back and say, maybe today that's not for us, but maybe potentially in the future, something that we can do,
Yeah.
Rome wasn't built overnight, they say. So,
Focus on what's working, and it's always slow, steady growth, not just jumping into things.
Sure. Yeah, but listen, as a racer, sport bike rider, I do like things fast. Our customers like things fast. We take pride in shipping same day. It's crazy. The UPS driver, the FedEx driver, they love us around here. We love them. We really appreciate them. They're part of our team. And, we just love when a customer says, oh my God, I called yesterday at 4:45 and I got the product the next day. How did you get it in UPS's hands? Because literally, we held John, our UPS driver, and you can't leave, pack that box, let's go. And so we've done a variety of things like that, including driving to the hub at 10 o'clock at night. I've done that multiple times before Daytona. I usually get phone calls right before Daytona in March. Scott, I need this. And then I drive, 9:30 at night, and I drop it on the roller, and then they get it, down there, and that's cool. That's awesome. And I think that's just something that we do that others just can't do, won't do, don't want to, whatever it is. But, we enjoy going that extra mile for people,
It's that whatever it takes attitude that most people aren't willing to do.
Yeah. Look, our motto is, if you don't push, you don't win. And
so true.
That's exactly what it is. Whatever we got to do, we'll do it. We're open-minded. We're not difficult or rigid by any means. We're just looking for smiles, man.
Very good. So where can people find you online? You're pretty active on there on motodracing.com, of course.
Moto-D-Racing.com. That's our website. Thankfully, we've got a great, strong dealer network. So, you can come to our site, find a dealer in your local area who generally stocks the product. If it's not something that they have, they can get it quickly for you. Also on Instagram /Moto-D Racing, YouTube /Moto-D Racing, and Facebook /Moto-D Racing.
So you've been putting a lot of videos out on YouTube lately?
Yeah, we're doing some videos. We're not doing TikTok. We're not doing Tinder. Sorry, everybody. No swiping left or right, any of that stuff. But we're strong on Instagram. We love engaging with everybody on Facebook and social media. We're doing a lot of videos. The videos are cool, it's a great way to show products. It's a great way to show, installation of things. And it's a great way to share, even just, being at the track or being at an event. It's a great way to share who we are. Because ultimately at the end of the day, we again go back to the fact that we're not just a company putting something in a box. It's Scott, it's Julian, it's Adam, it's your friends, and they're just hooking you up with something that you need to have more fun. So again, just that personal, connection. We always strive for that with everybody. And, one of the things that's really cool, here it's freezing cold, right now, and obviously we're in January, and, I'm planning maybe a trip out to the West Coast. And, I already know that, I could borrow a buddy's bike, I could stay at my other friend's house, and, I could go to the racetrack by myself, and I'm pretty positive I'll bump into multiple people that I know, doing this. And, what a hoot that would be, and to see friends out, in California and stuff like that, all the way across the country, again, joined, by this two-wheel love. So, I always love doing that, wherever I am,
Yeah, it's always great. You go to the track and like a bunch of people, and nobody planned to be there together. They just happen to be there simultaneously.
Yeah. My wife is, always asking me. She's like, do you know anybody there? Or anything like that? Are you with anybody? I'm like, yeah, I'm with the whole place. So it's a good party. So she's like, okay, I feel better now.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, let's wrap this up. We're approaching our 1 hour mark, so I'm gonna get this edited and processed. It's gonna be a week or two. I think I still have a few to edit and publish in the queue, and then make sure to share this and tag anybody we talked about, and we can get as many eyeballs on it as possible.
Absolutely. Eric, I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank the sport bike and the racetrack community for their support from the bottom of our hearts here, Moto-D We really look forward to seeing everybody this summer, no matter where you are. Ride safe, take care of yourself, and have a good time.
All right, very good. Well, I'll talk to you soon, Scott. Have a great one.
See you, Eric.
All right, bye-bye, everybody.